Well, hello. There's a terminal up above, on the catwalk. We should search for a way up. Where did you learn to pick up? You know what, on second thought, I don't want to know.
Combat protocol.
Whatever was being experimented upon here best remains hidden in... Oh, sorry. You'll have to hack that on your own.
I will not tolerate the theft of any nearby objects. Please stand back. This unit is on patrol.
More to explore here.
Warning. Criminal activity in this area will be punished.
So, dropping off a few Hope we can talk later.
If you attempt to engage me in combat, I will be forced to detain you.
Oh, I wonder how this poor soul ended up this way. Shame.
You attempt to engage me in combat, I will be forced to detain you.
Set aside anything useful and just leave the rest.
every waking moment underground. Make sure you clean that off before you stow it in your bag.
Out of the red with the trade authority. Can't say I don't appreciate it, but I doubt you came all this way just to do me a favor. Now you want to explain to me why you're going around harassing nefarious old men by wiping away their hard-earned debts? Adrian sent you. She's... Did she look okay? Sounds like Adrian. Watch that woman lose a digit trying to get a better tissue sample.
What? You can reattach a finger, Percy.
So what exactly did she have you bring me? Terramorph attack, huh? Not exactly sure why you'd be bringing that... Wait, Tau Gourmet? Like Tau Ceti Tau Gourmet? That's a joke, right? There's no settlement old enough on Tau Ceti to have a Terramorph. Either someone's setting up the worst petting zoo in the universe, or... If she made you come all the way for this... Let's get inside. I need to see these cells.
Gonna ask you to not touch anything. Got some projects in the works down here. I wasn't expecting guests. Oh, and Lou mentioned how you took care of the dead. Can't say I'm thrilled the Trade Authority got their mitts on the research, but I guess that's the price you pay not to live in a cave the rest of your days. All queued up. Let's gaze into this abyss, shall we? All right, just get those cellular markers today. Wait, where are the markers? This can't be right. This sample, it's Londinian. I'll need to get this all in a slate. Adrian really gave you this sample. You're not lying to me? Because if you told me this was a hoax, and it'd be the best damn fake I've ever seen, I'd be mad and very, very relieved. Can't just humor an old man, huh? This sample, it's got all the indicators of the worst Terramorph attack in human history. I presume you've heard of Londinian. And for good reason. The swarms are so bad, they had to blow the spaceport and seal the place off from the galaxy at large. Not a lot of samples made it off the world from the time of the attack, but the ones that did, well, they look just like this one. I didn't detect any of the telltale signatures this specimen ever sat on a ship while it was alive, either. I don't think it was transported to Tau Ceti. This specimen, it grew there. Faster than any Terramorph should. Which means, if we're about to start a new era in human-Terramorph relations, where big, sudden Londinian-style attacks can happen outside Londinian, that's not gonna end well for humanity.
It would be the end of us as a species.
So, you lugged this bad omen all the way here. You want to tell me what your plans are for it now? Because until now, the Terramorphs that wiped out Londinian had the good sense to stay put. What happened there? It was a tragedy, but at least it was contained. So to find evidence for a similar attack on a different world, well, we don't have enough information to know precisely what this means. But I doubt it's good. So I'd love to know what it is you're planning from here. The circle, huh? Could use a drink about now. Here, Faster we take the lift to the surface. Not supposed to use it, but given the circumstances, I'm inclined to just ask forgiveness. Let's get going.
Hey, I need to talk with you. Got a minute to chat? Stay away from the sixth circle unless you're invited.
Mars isn't for everybody.
Is that really her? Adrian.
Percival. My God, look at you. You're an old man now.
You're no hassling yourself anymore, Major. Our friend here showed me your sample. Suffice it to say.
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back.
Crime's at an all-time low around Sidonia. Let's keep it that way.
Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
Makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble. That's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact. So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old Terramorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on 2 conditions. 1, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And 2, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti. With both of us. It can be a daunting experience. Which is why I wanted to make sure, before you agreed to anything, we gave you the whole truth. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC xeno-warfare. A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done. Oh, well, that means a lot. It's not something I'm exactly proud of. But it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying terramorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the Colony War. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean. And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it. All right. I'm gonna go get this work.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
If I can help you, just say the word. Mind if we stop by the waterfall on this trip? I could use a few moments to unwind.
I'm sure you already know. You're here because you need... Please, take a look.
if you need something. Feel free to drop some... Bring me anything useful? Oh, I love catching up with you. Let's do it again sometime.
You know, just by... I'm sure we can find...
If you want help, I'm here. I'll only carry the good stuff. Just kidding. It was really good talk. Happy to listen. Take care of yourself. Hey there. You be careful, okay? Look at this place. It's just as we left it. You know, I've often wondered who keeps the lodge so meticulously clean. A lot on your mind? I'd be happy to get... You be careful, okay? Hey, my guns could use a bit of work too. So, what have we got? Animal, vegetable, or mineral?
Whole spacesuit.
I would never dream of so. Please do. Good luck on all your adventures.
Back, eh? Glad to haul what... Hope we can talk later. I wonder if any discovery reports have come in while we were away. Always a pleasure. Let's see what you've got. Take care of yourself.
There's something to be said for Brand. There's nothing. Only the finest. You know? Please, take a...
Back, eh? How's it? It was really good talking to you.
How you liking that laser gun?
Please let me know. You won't find a large. You'll find that I have. I'm glad you came in.
workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Vae Victus. Woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin. A title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. You have? I mean, it's old technology. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Some independent group might have managed to figure it out again. But in my case, it complicates things. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death. Freestar Collective, and UC. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at. I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here. Eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terramorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creature. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself is... which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise. Well, thinking about it more, I suspect there'd be value in sharing the fact that the Terramorph project was... There's no need to be afraid of this data being weaponized. Knowing that should calm some of the cabinet's fears and make it easier for... I mean, we never spent a lot of time together. He was too busy being Fleet Admiral to deal with kids. I was raised by a pair of guardians instead. Until his defeat during the Colony War, though, he was known as an extremely effective commander. Savvy. But Vae Victus, for all his ability, was heartless. Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, We have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor. That is something to consider. Though we also have to take into account the nature of the data you require.
Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic, and at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the Chief Diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the Cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this Terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
It doesn't matter if it can be weaponized or not. The archives need to remain sealed for now.
That? I hadn't thought of that, Captain.
An excellent point indeed. The other powers would likely be much more inclined to work with us knowing that. Chief Diplomat.
That point is a good one.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident? Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There.
The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, The local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti... Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there. The way those people were acting. I've seen this before.
I don't know. They were down at the port and we tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way. But some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough.
Pheromonic projection. Some terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control. You kill the morph, you break the hold. Let's do it.
That's unlocked. Please.
Evacuation order has been issued.
got the remaining creatures locked down on... We're holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Backup. You say the word, we're out there.
You two have any experience with terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us. We're not afraid, but we'll stay here and hold the line if that's what you want. You're the experts. Roger that. We're on you. Stay sharp.
All wrapped up. We should go tell the sergeant what happened.
It's over. Thank God. If these things reached the populated areas of the city, we would have had an absolute massacre on our hands.
Might as well take what we can.
The few protecting the many.
And it would have been plenty more if it hadn't been for the two of you. The city owes you both a debt after this.
We were just in the right place at the right. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know that... Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the all-clear signal before exiting your homes. That is all.
They said you're free to come and go.
That's a relief to hear. Captain? Hadrian? It would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the... You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the archives. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy. The Cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that rep. The Cabinet wants progress, and wants it quickly. You're already... There's also no diplomat alive that can claim they helped keep a cadre of Terramorphs off the embassy doorsteps. We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you... I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the... Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on game. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks.
Damage to the spaceport. The costs of this attack are greater than I think we realize.
I'm gonna go check in with Chief Engineer Kulkarni. Start getting a plan together.
Hello.
Chief Yassine, these orders... A Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from... I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives.
It was a mutual agreement, but I suppose you touch on the spirit of it. So, access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency. UC, Freestar Collective, and...
Now, the UC's already on board. Get them both, and you'll have your data.
Very funny. This is going to be hard enough already. Both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately...
And I do mean cooperate. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar? Ah, the good Ambassador Radcliffe.
If Sam is any example of how stubborn the Freestar people can be, then I can...
Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince...
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we...
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access...
Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you. Yes, many. Don't steal anything. If something goes wrong, we'll do our best to smooth things over.
Name's Cameron Long. He's younger than Ratcliffe. He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source, and someone who very likely hates her guts. All right. Here, your diplomatic ID.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
Official line is that you're to negotiate with her. My suggestion is to access the listening device in her quarters to get leverage on her, and she's also got a staff member that might be... Ambassador Balmore's. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, he's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
Well, these days, they're primarily considered a security threat. House Varun Zealots, a fundamentalist outshoot of the group that stayed behind when the rest retreated into seclusion, want nothing more than to send everyone not dedicated to their cause to the great serpent in the sky. But that hasn't always been the case. After they ended the Serpent's Crusade about 70 years back, House Varun did take a real run at trying to normalize relations with the rest of the galaxy. It's why they have an embassy here in the first place, leaving behind, to our knowledge, just the ambassador and his duty under the armistice.
Well said. There's no reason to assume they're any worse than us, despite their...
Of course. But there is... another... We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare. But it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting. Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice. Then you search the embassy for his biometric key, collect your code piece, and we'll go about notifying his next of kin, if we can ever find them. But let's hope it doesn't come to that. The embassy is still legally House Varun's sovereign territory, so we're not technically permitted inside. We've snuck in the occasional spy, of course, but the ambassador has proven more evasive than you'd expect for a man of his age. But we're quite sure he hasn't left the city. The man stands out. The Varun delegation brought more than a few of their native flora with them when they set up in the embassy. It seems those plants have been allowed to flourish, making it hard for us to verify what's flora, and it would at least be a speedier negotiation. But I, of course, hope the ambassador is alive and well. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated. Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Be smart out there, Captain.
I asked my boss what they're doing to stop the new alien.
Hard to believe it's been 2 decades since we were at war.
Visitors are only allowed in the lobby.
I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm not happy visiting anything related to the Freestar Collective. But you lead, and I'll follow.
UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here?
Sorry. Everyone's a little on edge after the attack.
I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment? Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said, "You have my thanks for what you did down there." Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants terramorph data from the Armistice Archive. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Oh, stop. You're embarrassing yourself. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my... You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you... I'm listening.
Visitors are only allowed in the lobby.
I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm not happy visiting anything related to the Freestar Collective. But you lead, and I'll follow.
All that security, and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here?
Official business? Talk to the ambassador.
That woman isn't... Oh, sorry. Oh, what? You're the Vanguard captain, right? You know, I was about to board the Nat to the spaceport when the alarm triggered. And, like, I've got you to thank for things not being... Heard that, huh? Yeah, the ambassador likes to treat us like family, yeah. But look, they said you were coming here on official business. The ambassador likes to handle all that even if she does have trained diplomats here to help her. And I don't want to get shipped back to Aquila City, so... Why don't we... So you want me to work with... No, I think that's a pretty safe assumption. And know what? So then, what would you need from me? The code machine? Only the ambassador's cleared for in there. Sorry. Her quarters. And you... and the UC will be providing me with what? Really? Okay, so there's a utility corridor that leads to the ambassador's quarters, which you can access through the main conference room. Here, the key. I'll keep an ear out for more instructions from the UC.
Always a pleasure. Oh, I love catching up with you. Let's do it again sometime. If you need something, we should get a drink sometime. sure power like that was meant for humankind.
Patching in playback.
Son of a bitch! Cameron!
Are you alright, Ambassador?
It seems the Council of Governors has rejected my appeal to join. Again. Which means you and I are stuck in this colonial rat cage until we die. But I think we might need to. We should expedite the process.
What are you getting at, ma'am?
I mean, my requests keep being rejected because they don't want to add a seat, right? But what if one opened up? The Meisner's heart in what it used to be. It's not like anyone would miss him.
Eva, I think it's time to get some sleep.
Just think about it. Maybe we can reach out to some experts at that sort of thing, huh?
Good night, Eva.
Who's that? Guests can make themselves. What are you doing in here?
I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment? What are you? Ah, you're the one McIntyre called? You have my thanks for what you did down there. Now, she also... that now the UC wants Terra... I can only presume. Oh, stop. Let me be frank. I will not be... Excuse me? No. If the council found out, I'd lose my position. Look, I believe we may have gotten off on the wrong foot. So perhaps if I can trust you to keep this little secret between us, then maybe we can find a way to trust the UC with access. But where are my manners? Here, my pistol. Laredo. Custom made. Now, with my error rectified, I put... You're joking, right? Okay. But please, pretty please, don't tell my superiors I was thinking about double-crossing them. It was just... And I know you, my dear, dear friend, wouldn't let anything like that get in the way of the two of us. And in fact, I think there's an opportunity here. Keep both our factions happy and ensure an air of legitimacy to the whole. I can only let you get the information on the Terramorphs. And all research will need to be monitored. Freestar scientific observers making sure everything's being used for the right purposes. But those 2 items should be enough to allay any suspicions. What on earth are you... Ah, yes. Now let's go get your code piece so you can be on your way. They tell me it should only take a moment. And there. It's not supposed to be a long process. It is for emergencies, after all. Code generator's just this way. Here you go. I hope that'll be enough to maintain your discretion.
Over here. There's something we need to discuss.
This isn't what I expected at all. It appears the flora they were using as decor has overgrown the entire embassy. retrieved before in my entire life. It'd actually be more fascinating if the Rangers weren't. Happy to listen. Have something for me? Don't stay away too long. Do you have anything valuable?
Punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss.
Carrying enough clutter there, or should we find some more?
Not the ideal introduction. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard that has the rest of the city suffered quite so bad? Harmless spores, you have my word, but hard to navigate. It is the sap of the tree that gives it its... well, perhaps not a topic for this exact... but I must know. I take it you didn't have such an experience where you were, then? Yes, the entire embassy was thrown into lockdown, trapping me in my quarters. A disconcerting experience, to say the least. Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather... Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an... You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all like... an archive code. So the UC requires information, then, on terror morphs. The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. But if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement. For years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter, with little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is.
We'll do everything we can to make sense.
Well, then I shall not... Please, follow me. Let's hope it still will. And there.
Hey there. Dropping off a few choice items? starting to enjoy the conversation.
I will not have House Varun be known. The affairs of House Varun, this was said at the time. So, when it was tolerable, with my brethren, the Great Serpent, when our founder, the Serpent,
You're carrying too many odds and ends. Time to let something go.
if there's... I can't imagine being stranded. Yes, by all means. Be careful out there.
If I can help you with it, feel free to drop... Leaving? Oh, I see how it is.
You're only as safe as... Yes, by all means. See you around.
If you want help, I'm here. If you have any It was nice talking to you again. Head to my crew position. Now that we're here, perhaps we could spend a bit of time relaxing rather than planning? A lot on your mind? Want to see what I'm... It was really good talking to you. I picked up something you might be interested in.
Over here. There's something
Important or
we
not,
need to discuss.
I'm ready to listen. Actually, yes, I do. Leaving? Oh, I see how it is.
What?
I can't believe the UC just brought us off.
And my mother wanted me to be a doctor.
Captain, I just received a couple messages from an operative in the embassy office. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe and Balmore. Was he? That's incredible. I wasn't sure Radcliffe would ever get on board. I'm very much looking forward to getting the debrief on how precisely you... Regardless. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. Absolute best behavior down there.
Ah, Captain. Congratulations on joining the ranks of the Vanguard.
Captain, we've been expecting you. Please approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules. Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units. Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready to begin.
Captain, can I help you?
Oh, look who's got a Laredo gun. Welcome to civilization, cowgirl.
There you are.
Captain. Surprised to find out we're having visitors as we work.
Major Sinan and I were just discussing the merits of your planned interfactional cooperation. I think it's a great idea. Get them invested in the solution. Make it clear we've got nothing to hide.
I'm sure they'll be lovely house guests.
Now, Captain, if you wouldn't mind transferring the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing next steps.
Time for us to start So whenever you're ready. You're carrying them. Certainly doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Yes. Percival and I have done our damage.
Plus, you don't need her word. We'll be setting up oversight alongside.
Acknowledged and accepted, Captain. So with the Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has should even be able to house its own cadre of independent observers. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll follow me. This requires a little more pomp. Follow me. It won't take long. Follow me. This requires a little more pomp.
The number of lives this might save.
It won't take long. Follow me. It won't take long. This requires a little more pomp. It won't take long. Follow me. This requires a little more pomp. This requires It won't take long. Follow me. All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies? Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version. Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen? Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation. We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property. Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you. But this person is in a sensitive position. Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the Terramorphs, and they've stated they'll only share it with you. So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. I'm sorry. I can't share any more without your word. Let's hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
Evening, ma'am.
I've lived in New Atlantis almost my entire life, and I had no idea this place even existed. The UC certainly excels at keeping secrets.
Unsealing access. You may proceed down the corridor. But there are no additional out here.
I'll be fine. You go on ahead.
Welcome, Captain. Please, come down and approach the intercom. You and I should chat. President Abeyo was kind enough to give me a few files to peruse. Quite the series of accomplishments. But now you face a foe unlike any other. An invisible enemy, lurking in the shadows. Which is why I hoped we could speak. Not quite. I'm Francois Sanon, but most know me as Fate. I was an admiral during the Colony War, but the previous regime deemed me a sacrifice on the altar of peace. Even my death served the colonies. One final. The trial was authentic. I faced tribunal with dignity. But the cabinet at the time, long gone now, wished to keep me on. So I elected to trade my freedom for my continued existence. Very astute. Has she shared with you the nature of our... Did she? Our relationship has always been... The Major was born to become a great leader, carry on the legacy I established. But the universe cut all that short. Now, though, it's placed even more crucial work in front of the two of you. And I think I have a part to play in helping you accomplish what you've set out to do. After some long years earning the trust of this current regime, the UC has been permitting me to work alongside one of their... helping them gather intelligence on, locate, and organize scenarios to lure in some of the criminals that evaded, with quite a few successes, I might add. But in the process, the names and locations of Hadrian and Percival's old research team. Valuable manpower for the effort. I'll tell you where they are, but in exchange, I need something dealt with. Well, who better to find them? But many of them I knew personally, and I've always had a mind for details. You'd be shocked how often an otherwise brilliant criminal flees to the planet just next to the one where they were born. I simply use my own personal knowledge and the information our group collects for me to track them. There is a former colleague of mine, a man by the name of Dr. Reginald Orlaise. Like myself and Hadrian, he was involved in some of the United Colony's more problematic lines of research. If it dealt death, he could make a deal more. When the Colony War ended, he fled, refusing to face tribunal, and has continued to peddle his skills to the highest bidder to this day. But I finally found him. I want you to track him down and deal with him. I'm not expecting he'll come quietly. Bring me evidence that the job's done, and I'll tell you what I know. You can certainly try, but the man's been out there 20 years. He's likely gone. Easier for all if you simply blow up his ship and be done with it. Speak to Deputy McIntyre. I'm sure she'd be happy to hear that someone might be tying up this loose end, though I would ask you. Captain, your files indicate a track record of unlikely successes. It is my genuine hope that, perhaps, and this, might be... If that's what you require to sleep at night. According to my information, he's been hiding around the world of Etheria. Well, there's a star station in the vicinity. The Den.
Identity verified. You may proceed to the exit.
So, what's new with you today? Hope we can talk later.
Excuse me.
Captain, did your meeting go well? Surprised me too when I learned it. But I do think it's worth re-emphasizing. No one else can know about this. The Major doesn't have clearance for this sort of information, which is why I need you to keep this to yourself. Short of jailing you? No, you're right. But in this moment, I think it would be a big mistake to tell her, though I presume he didn't call you down there simply to discuss it. Dr. Reginald Orlaise? Of course, killing Orlaise is completely out of the question. But bringing him to justice... He's been on... That'd be a huge win for the UC. Allowing you to kill someone on behalf of the prisoner? Absolutely not. But, well, the old man's been right more than a few times in the past. Really? He found the members of the research team. We'd already initiated a search for them, but it'd save a lot of time and manpower. Captain, if that's the deal, you have my endorsement. Just so... Now, was there anything else you wanted to discuss? Trusting the man downstairs would be a mistake. This is far from the first name he's handed over, and all previous missions went off largely without a hitch. So while I'd certainly warrant caution... The Den? Oh, The first one was blown to smithereens. The place has always... But because of its distance, I can think of worse places. Then I'll bid you good day, Captain.
Keep it moving.
Greetings, citizen. Welcome to the UC.
Need some work done? And here's your new captain. My crew can take a look at your ship, and you can stop by the Trade Authority kiosk if you... Nothing for us to do. Sure, have at it. I'm sure you can find something. Sure, have at it.
Fancy seeing you. I was hoping to run into you eventually. I've got something for you. I'll give you 3 guesses. I mean, if you really want. No, dummy, it's a bunch of credits I've earned. I told you I wanted to pay you back if we ever cross paths again. Here. I know it pales in comparison to what you did for me, but it should help. Oh, I'm just working the front desk at a local accounting practice. It's not glamour. I haven't decided whether I want to pursue a history degree or get into film studies. I've always been interested in Earth culture, so one of those seems appropriate. Oh, no problem. Anyway, I was hoping you could do one last favor. Since you have a ship, would you be able to deliver a letter to my sister? I was hoping it'd be sooner rather than later, but I was prepared to wait. So it's okay as long as it gets there. Let me just add a few more details to my letter. Thanks again. Take care.
Why are you bothering to carry all that junk?
You will be scanned as you enter the city.
You didn't hear this from me.
I don't mind bunking on the ship, but nothing is better than unwinding in your own quarters.